Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. As always, nice to see you. So as you're joining, you can keep saying hellos. You can tell me how you're doing today. And again, today's lesson is going to be pretty busy. So as I can see some of you already here, let's check the topic. Oh, thank you for asking. So I'm fine today. And how are you, Diana? So today we are going to speak about physical and mental health. So all the health issues, and also there is very important grammatical topic, which is passive voice. And also we'll try some reading. But as at the previous lesson, I promised to you that we haven't finished with modal verbs. Then today we will continue. So we're going to start with revising some modal verbs issues, which we didn't manage to cover at the previous lesson. All right. So it's nice that you can at the same time have your lunch and watch the webinar. So I'm happy for you. Okay. So let's get started. And first of all, speaking of modal verbs, we haven't mentioned modal verbs of deduction at the previous lesson. So when we try to guess about something, we typically use them. So modals of deduction, it's like модальні дієслова для того, щоб виразити якусь здогадку, like deduction of Sherlock Holmes, yeah? Like we are trying to understand on our own what is happening there, but we don't know for sure. We are just guessing. Ми просто вгадуємо. Yes, hello everybody who is joining. So modals of deduction differ according to their probability. So if we are 100% sure something gonna happen, we say must. For example, I know my best friend, she must like this song, because you know your friend's tastes and probably you can guess what she would like. If you are not sure, or it's like 50-50, you may say, well, she may like this song, or she might like this song, or she could do it. Okay. And when we speak about something that we believe is impossible, then we use can't. For example, I know my friend. She never listens to this music genre, so she can't love this song. Like, it's impossible. So then, let's have a look here. Look at this girl. Any sentences of deduction that come to your mind? If you have something, you may write just in the comments. And meanwhile, I will show you my ideas. So, first of all, looking at her equipment, we can assume that it must be heavy, yeah? Воно має бути важким, like almost 100%. Or we can say that she may hurt herself trying to lift it up, right? There is a chance of it, not like 100%, but still. She must be really strong. Вона, напевно, дуже сильна. Very good. Yeah, or it could be some competition. We don't know for sure. Maybe it's some practice in the gym, but it could be competition as well. And this picture can't be real. Like, it's impossible that this girl is lifting up such heavy weights. But who knows, who knows? And speaking about all of that, right now we were trying to guess about something in present, or maybe something that is going to happen. But sometimes we don't know what happened in the past. Like with Sherlock Holmes, he can just see some evidence, докази є, and he needs to understand, like, like, why did it happen? What have happened? And for that, we need to use modals of deduction, but in the past tense. And that's why we call them past modals of deduction. So the main thing here, that to all of those modal verbs, we just add have and then the third form. So it's not like it must be difficult right now, but it must have been difficult for her yesterday when she had that competition. So looking at this picture and knowing the situation, the girl says, I can't find my keys. So she lost them in the past. So what could have happened? Any of your ideas? If she says, I can't find my keys, what might be the problem? So you can type in the chat, and meanwhile, I'll show my ideas. So when she starts thinking, she understands, well, I can't have left them at school. Like, it's impossible, because I remember opening the front door. Or she say, I may have dropped them, могла їх впустити, under the bed or under the sofa. Or they must have fallen, вони точно випали, or скоріш за все випали, when I took off my jacket. Yeah. And speaking of Diana's sentence, they must have been under the bed. Let's think together. Are they under the bed right now? Or did this action happen in the past? About the keys being under the bed. If they are still there, you don't need past modal. You can say just, they must be, even now, under the bed. Because I might have dropped, можливо, випустила їх, when I was changing my clothes, переодягалася. So that's why you always have to decide whether your model of deduction is about something which can be true right now or about something that was true in the past. And if that's clear, let's try practicing a little bit. So look at the first sentence and try to guess what would be the appropriate modal verb. So Samantha must be, can be, or maybe can't be asleep because there is no light on in her room. So her room is dark. Yeah, she must be asleep. Like, if there is no light, like no laptop working, no lamp, then probably, like, the biggest chance is that she's asleep. Yeah, agree. Very good. Okay, number 2. I might pass, have passed, or have been passed the test, but I'm not sure. So what's number 2? All right. I might have passed the test. Я скоріше за все, or я, можливо, склала тест, but I'm not sure. So I did it, but I still don't know the result. That's why I'm guessing whether I passed or failed. You see? So again, action happened in the past, but I still don't know the result. That's why I guess about the past. Right. Number 3. So what should we use? Okay, I already see some answers. Yeah, that is C. Can I use your phone? What other options can we use instead of can? We can use may, exactly, may I use your phone? A polite request. Or could. Чи могла б я? Could I use your phone? That sounds a bit more polite than just direct can. Can? Можна? Could? Чи могла б я? Okay, number 4. So your ideas? Right, so you could have asked me before you invited them. So you already invited people, but we say, а міг би й мене запитати. So when we show this kinda dissatisfaction with something, we use again past modals. Like, you could have asked me, міг би й запитати. Number 5, okay, I can see the answers. Don't make any plans for Tuesday because we may leave. Можливо, поїдемо in the morning. I'll let you know, so it's still unclear. Number 6, Marta. So number 6. Yeah, it's A. Marta can't have left. Не могла піти. I believe that it's not true because the lights in her house are on, so probably I believe she's still there. Okay, number 7. Mike leaves work at 3 p.m. So he He should be home by now. Він, певно, має бути вдома. So again, it's my guessing, but it's what I expect to be true. All right, good job here. So then, if you need to practice more with modal verbs, here you can see the QR code, or in a second you will see the link in the comments for additional practice of modal verbs. Or you can basically just Google modal verbs exercises and keep practicing with them. I'm pretty sure that this topic always needs some practice. All right, so that's about modal verbs, and we are done with the previous topic. And now let's proceed to reading. So today we are going to do the reading activity, which is matching. You know, where you have some statement and some paragraph, and you need to find which paragraph corresponds with which statement. So here are some tips. First of all, we need to read all the text or all the paragraph that we see to find out what it is about. So please do not start by checking the options. If you see the paragraph like your task, read all of it, try to get the meaning. After you've done it, then you can check the questions, like what information you should find in the text, and be attentive to details, because typically in this third reading activity, you don't need to focus on the main idea. Mostly you have to focus on some details, for example, which library, and then some additional information, for example, let's people work at night. So, and there might be like a tiny mentioning about that, like it's open after, I don't know, 11 p.m., for example. And that shows you the idea. After that, while reading, you need to choose the best option and better cross it out from the list. That would help you afterwards. And here, be careful, because you may find some words or phrases from the text which look pretty similar, but it doesn't mean that's the correct answer. So if you see midnight in the question and in the text, be very, very careful. Probably that's the wrong answer. So they do not give the same words, or they give them to confuse you. And after you completed the task, you need to check the remaining sentences to make sure that they still do not match any of your options. So then, right now, we are going to practice one of such reading activities. For that, you can scan the QR code so that to see the full activity, but I will share the screen, of course, so there is no big need in that. So let's get started. You can just put it for later and maybe practice on your own, but now let's proceed. So we have the text. We have 3 paragraphs. Does it mean we read the whole text together? Not really. We focus on the first paragraph only. So I invite you to read paragraph 30 and try to get what it is about. So please, go ahead. Okay, it's time. So then, as you finished paragraph 30, you can look at the options and try to decide what this paragraph is about. Okay, I can already see some answers. So you think it's C or maybe G? All right, the role of parents, yeah? Okay. So you are right, it's about G. Even though we have some mentioning of TV there, right? Watch less than 2 hours of television. It's not about TV commercials, не про телерекламу, right? So yeah, that is G, the role of parents. And here we can see some sentences that can prove that. Like, it's clear that parents have an important role, right? Okay, then now we focus on the next paragraph, so please read 31. Okay, I can see some answers. So be careful. You see, it's E. Yeah, another important finding. Yeah. So first of all, another wouldn't typically go for the first paragraph, because if it's another, it's something else apart from the first one. Yeah, okay, very good. And what we can see here, like another recent war in study, and that's the synonym to finding. Very good. Okay, then let's read the... Okay, I spoiled it. So then your task would be to try to find the keywords. Like, how do we know that it's A? Look carefully. Try to spot the sentence which proves it. Yeah, that is A. But how do we know? Like, find the sentence that matches the A statement. Have you spotted? All right. So here, the recommendation we need to accept, there is a synonym, implement a rule. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, by the way, that's a very good piece of advice, because when you do your tests, again, you have my recommendation, iLearn switch to Ukrainian here. Коли ми робимо тести, дуже важливо працювати над помилочками. Тому, коли ви вже пройшли тест і наробили помилки, будь ласка, не просто «Окей, я помилився», поверніться до цього тесту, передивіться ваші варіанти і спробуйте знайти докази того, чому саме A – вірний варіант, а не той, що ви обрали. І коли ви знаходите ці докази, це навчить вас більш детально фокусуватися саме на читанні того, що потрібно, і помічанні оцих ключових речень. Тому, ще раз раджу, робота над помилками дуже важлива. Навіть коли ви вже маєте готові результати, не полінуйтеся проглянути текст ще раз та підкреслити, похайлайтити, виділити, знайти ті речення, які вказують на правильність цього результату. Тобто не зупиняємося, коли ми просто знайшли помилку. Опрацьовуємо її. Okay, that was a lot of Ukrainian from me. Let's keep moving. And then, right now, I want us to proceed to the topic health. So, as you already seen, we had a text about it. Now let's have a look at some words. So, what health problem might be depicted in the first picture? Any ideas? Yeah, he is sleepy, but it's not the first grade, so what might be the problem, health issue there? We can say that he has poor sleep, lack of sleep, and yeah, if you want to be even more advanced, you can say that he might have insomnia, безсоння, or sleep deprivation. It's a very advanced phrase. Let me type it for you. So we might have sleep deprivation. It's like нестача сну, недостатня кількість сну, sleep deprivation. All right. Then what about number 2? what might be there? What might be the issue? Or maybe some action? Any of your ideas? So it's not about the problem, it's more about how to avoid some problems or prevent them. Exercising, yeah, that's close to it. So vigorous exercise. When we do something rigorously, maybe sometimes it's even a lot, but okay. So what about number 3? Any words that come to your mind looking at this picture? Okay, I like your comments though, but let's proceed to number 3. So what might it be? Okay, examination, checkup, visiting a doctor, all the words are good. Yeah. So the doctor can examine you or examine some parts of your body. That's examination, yeah? Like огляд. Okay, what about number 4? Should be easy. Yeah, and checkup, it's like just checking if your body is okay. So it's like медогляд when you're not ill, but you're trying to make sure that you're healthy. And yeah, doctor can examine you in both cases, when you are just doing the checkup or when you're ill and have some symptoms. Okay, number 4, medical practitioners. So very often, especially in some newspapers, you can just find the phrase like MP even, or medical practitioner, so the person who is a doctor, but a bit wider term. So it might include not only doctors, but some other people who take care of your health, medical practitioners. Okay, and number 5. So what's number 5? Okay, so high blood pressure. Seeing the numbers, those numbers, we can understand that it's pretty high. Okay, very good here. So then, right now, I have some words which mean some issues, and you need to match the beginnings and the endings of the phrases. So there we go. Number 1, abdominal. If you don't know some word, as always, you can put a question mark. I will answer or translate the word. So what is abdominal? Okay, abdominal. H, pain. So abdomen, it's like our lower part of the body, or simply saying belly, like живіт. So abdominal pain is like біль в районі живота. Abdominal pain. Okay, number 2. What could be high? You already know. Can I spoil it? Yeah, that's E, high blood pressure or low blood pressure, like високий, низький тиск. Number 3. Again, high or low. So here is blood pressure, and high fever is like висока температура. Yeah, exactly. So blood pressure can be both high and low, but typically when we speak about our temperature, it could be high temperature or high fever. Yeah. Number 4. What could be itchy? It's all right that you mixed up. So what is itchy? Rash. Yeah, exactly. So itchy is like той, що зудить, той, що чешеться. And rash, сип, висипи. So some red spots on your skin. And sometimes, yeah, they might be itchy. Okay, splitting. Свербіж. Very good, thank you. So yeah, itchy, сверблячий, and rash, like sip. Splitting. It's a bad one, really bad. So, splitting headache. Yeah, I know that to split is like розщепляти, but when you have this kind of headache, that's too hard, as if your head is splitting apart. Or sometimes we can just say severe headache, like дуже сильний. Severe headache or splitting headache. Yeah. Okay, number 6, sudden. What could be sudden? So we can actually say a lot about sudden, like sudden, I don't know, high pressure, sudden rush could be. But what is hidden here? It's C, sudden weight loss. When it happens fast. Okay, swollen. What is swollen? So yes, it's B, tonsils. What are tonsils? Who knows? We have some issues with that, like tonsillit in Ukrainian. So what is it about? What are tonsils? Мигдалини. So swollen tonsils, it's when we have like набряклі мигдалини. So swollen. Actually, we can have any part of our body which becomes swollen. It's like набрякша, напухла, and so on. And number 8, it's upset stomach. So when, it's not like pain in your stomach, but still some discomfort, you can say, oh, I have upset stomach, or I have some discomfort in my stomach. That also could be. Okay. Good. So let's keep moving. And now you need to choose the correct option. So let's do it very briefly. Number 1. Okay, so that is A, absolutely right, and it might be a sign of eating disorder, like розлад харчування. So let's think of number 2, and meanwhile I have to comment Diana's comment about when you have tonsils. So when you have tonsillitis, like tonsillit, that's the inflammation of your tonsils, like запалення мигдалин. But from the birth, every person has tonsils, like that's the part of your body, but some people need to get rid of them because sometimes it becomes problematic for them. Okay, so number 2, yeah, that's B for sure. And number 3? Yeah, upset stomach. Absolutely right. Okay, so then, right now, let's decide what to use here. She fell down and shouted out in her leg was broken. So she shouted out. What might be the word? Okay, I can help you. So, that's about pain. She shouted out in pain. All right, very good. And here, I've had a terrible. Can we say had pain or something else? Yeah, that would be headache. So we have 2 words that typically describe this, like біль, but there is a difference. So we typically use pain in such phrases as to have pain in some part of your body, to feel pain, or to suffer from pain. And we can use pain as a verb. So, for example, to pain means to cause someone unhappiness. Nothing pains like truth. Ніщо не ранить, як правда, something like that. Or we can say it is paining me, like it is discomfortable to think of something. And when it refers to, okay, so we cannot do that because it's never used in continuous. So it only pains me, but not paining. And when we speak about ache, typically we use it with some specific parts of the body, like we have headache, backache, toothache, stomachache, and pay attention, it's not ch, it's ache. So you can repeat ache. And here you can see that he's causing me a lot of headache or heartache. And to ache, it's like to experience pain in some part of your body. So to pain as a verb, it's to cause some unhappiness or discomfort. To ache is to experience some physical pain. I hope that is clear. So we can say that his feet were aching. And we can use it in continuous as well. And also there is a phrase about aches and pains. You can see the example. It's like різні болі, something like that. All together. Про всі болячки, maybe like that. So then right now you need to decide what to use here. I feel what? Ache or pain in my legs? Your ideas? Hurry up. I feel ache or pain? Comments, please. Yeah, we typically feel pain and your leg hurts. So when we use the word hurt, it's about some discomfortable feeling, and usually we mean that there is some injury, trauma whatsoever. So hurt could be a verb like поранити, yeah, or hurt like боліти. Okay. So then typically when we say hurt, it's caused by something outside of us, and we can hurt both physically or mentally. For example, when he broke up with her, he deeply hurt her, when like ранив її emotionally, but also it could be some physical thing. So then right now, as we spoke about those words, let's speak about words of helping people, when we get rid of that illness. So here we have some kind of synonyms. You have to decide what is what. So when we give medical aid, медичну допомогу, what do we do? Recover, heal, cure, treat. Actually, we treat. So treat, it's like лікувати. So when you provide some medical help, when you provide some medical things like, I don't know, pills, other ways of treatment, typically we treat. Лікуємо, лікування. Okay, B. So when we have some injuries or wounds, like поранення, травми, but not diseases, what do we call it? Heal. So heal is like заживати. You have some wound, like rana, and it will heal in some time. Okay, then C. When the disease is completely gone, like it's not a problem anymore. Letter C. We cure. So cure, it's like зцілити. So absolutely get rid of some disease. That's why people are looking for the cure from cancer, like ліки від раку, like to get rid of this disease completely. And when there is a process of getting better, we call it recovery or to recover, like відновлюватися, одужувати, in that meaning. So here you have the link. As always, it's a Quizlet containing many words describing different issues with your body, and I recommend you learning those words. So please check the link. Remember it. It will be added in the comments, so you can always find it there, and we keep moving. So the final part of our today's lesson is passive voice. So look at these two sentences. Native speakers often use the passive voice. Is it active or passive voice sentence? So what do you think? Active or passive? Okay, Anna, are you about treat, heal, recover, and so on? Yeah? So, again, recover, одужувати, повільно виходити з хвороби. Then, heal, заживати. So, people cannot heal, people can recover. Люди одужують, а наші ранки, вони заживають, загоюються. So, that would be to heal. Again, treat, лікувати. So, when another person helps you, коли інша людина допомагає нам, вона treat, лікує. But we can treat ourselves. Ми можемо лікувати самі себе, даючи нам, самим приймаючи якісь ліки, and so on. And when we say cure, it's зцілити, вилікувати, тобто коли в нас була якась хвороба, яка повністю зникла. Usually about some serious diseases. Okay, so here, as you can see, the first sentence is active voice, the second one is passive voice. So, in the first sentence, we have a subject who is a doer, like виконавець of the action. And we have the verb, and then we have the object, which is passive voice. So to make a passive voice sentence, we put the object to the first place. So our object becomes a new subject, which is the receiver of the action. So passive voice doesn't do the action. It becomes the object that goes to the first place. And it is often used, він використовується. It doesn't do anything. It's just passively used by native speakers. So we use passive voice when we want to change the focus of the sentence from who does the action to what receives, or for example, some action, or what experiences some action to be done upon it. So, again, focus in the first sentence is native speakers, and in the second one, it would be the passive voice. Yeah, Anna, that's correct. So, when it's more important who does it, that's active. When it's more important what happened, the action itself, we use passive voice. And to make it grammatically, we just switch or we move the object to the first place. Then we typically add to be in some form before the verb, and we use the verb in the third form. And then you have your passive voice. But of course, it has some tricks, so we're going to look at them right now. Let's move. So first of all, when we use it, we use to emphasize the action, just as Anna said, щоб сфокусуватися на дії, and not the person that does it. For example, the film was completed in record time. It's not important who exactly completed it. It's important that it's ready. It was completed. The action matters. Or when the agent, like the person who does the action, is unknown. For example, my bag has been stolen. Мою сумочку вкрали. Do you know who? No. So, in Ukrainian, we can use безособове речення, сумочку вкрали, but in English, we cannot use any sentences without any subject. That's why we put the bag at the beginning. Or when it's not necessary or maybe obvious, очевидно, who does the action. For example, lots of films are made in India. Well, of course, they are made by some filmmakers, but do we need to mention their names? Well, it's not relevant. Or, for example, the thief, крадій, was arrested. Of course, by police, because who else has the right to arrest people? So, again, in passive voice, we whether don't know the doer, or it's not important, or it's too obvious. So, anyway, we don't need active voice there. Speaking of formation, as I mentioned before, typically we use to be form. Like it could be am, is, are, will be, and many, many more things, but there should be some form of to be, and the third form of the main verb. And we start the sentence with the object. For example, here, thousands of students take English exam every year. So students actively take exam. How to make the sentence passive? Quickly in the chat. Please make a passive voice sentence. Okay, that is right. So we switch English exam with the subject. English exam is taken by thousands of students every year. So yeah, we start with the subject, which was the object. Then, before the verb, we use present form of to be because it happens in present simple, like regularly, yeah? And then we can use by thousands of students because they are the doers of the action. In past simple, we would say it was taken by thousands of students last year. Or if we say about present perfect, it has been taken. So any form of to be is possible, as I mentioned before. Is, was, will be, has been, have been, will have been, even, whatever you need. And in the future, it will be taken. So it's important to understand that any form of to be is possible there. Now let's do a small exercise. You need to decide whether the sentence is active or passive. So you just write the number and letter A for active or P for passive. Haven't I come too late? No, not at all. Dinner is being served at the moment. Active or passive? A or P? Number 1. Yeah, it is passive. Do we know who serves the dinner? No, and it's not important. Probably some waiters, right? Okay, and what tense is that? Who can guess? Is being served. Right now, so it's present continuous. Okay, number 2, I already have some answers. Chinese won't be spoken all around the world in the future. Yeah, that's passive. So people won't speak Chinese, but Chinese won't be spoken. Number 3, active. That's right. Many people won't learn it. So that's people actively doing the action. Number 4, our president is giving a speech. Active voice, right. Number 5, don't worry, the post is delivered every day. So number 5, passive. Who delivers that post? We don't know. Number 6, I was given an iPhone for my last birthday. Active, passive. So number 6, passive. Again, we don't know who presented the iPhone to this person. Okay, number 7, stop explaining it again and again. You're wasting your time. Active voice. You are wasting your time actively on your own. Number 8, I've been charged $20 for this ugly hat. So did I charge that money? No, it's passive voice. Somebody did it. I just paid. All right, so it seems like understanding is not a problem for you. Then let's proceed to different forms of it. So as we have not enough time, I suggest we do it in the form of a lecture, and you will have a chance to practice in the following activities. So when it's present simple, it's always just am is are. So she writes the article is written. When it's present continuous, we use is and then being. So basically we put to be in continuous form. As you say, I am reading, here you change actually not read in ing, but you do this with the sentence. Oh, you decided to take a challenge. You're writing. That's great. Yeah, the article is being written. So we use am is are plus being as in continuous and then the third form of the verb. Okay, number 3. The article has been written by her. So again, it's have or has been and then past participle. It's always easy to remember what to use. You just imagine active voice. Уявімо собі активний стан і думаємо, яку форму дієслова ми би там обрали. І в ту ж саму форму, в якій ми вживаємо дієслово в активному стані, ми ставимо to be. So, for example, he is reading, the book is being read. Or he has finished the third form, the book has been finished. Okay, number 4. So, she wrote the article was written. Again, very simple. To be in its past form was were, and the third form of the verb. Past continuous is the same as present continuous, just instead of am is are, we use was were and still ing form. So as you can see, no matter what continuous we use, it's always ing form of to be. And then you can easily guess what should be there in past perfect, because it's had and then been. So as you look here, if it's any perfect, it's always been. And if it's simple, there is no other form of to be except for am is are, was were. Okay, very good here. So let's keep moving and look at some other forms. So now, future simple. She will write the article. Please change the main verb, the article, just that part. The article, what? Your ideas. I'm showing that will be written. So again, after will, you just need to put to be. Okay, she will have written the article, future perfect. Oh my God. The article will have, the same will have as in active voice. Then to be in the third form, because after have, it's always the third form, will have been written. Okay, when is going to, she's going to write an article. The article is going to be written. So again, after going to, we just put be and then write in the third form. So just look at your active voice sentence and put to be in the form that is required by this tense in the ing form. That's it. So it's pretty simple. Like to be goes here in between the auxiliary and the main verb, but in the form that the tense requires. Always like that. Okay, so future continuous, she will be writing the article. No passive. Present perfect continuous, no passive. Past perfect continuous, no passive. So just remember to yourselves, we don't use passive voice in some tenses. It's just too odd, too extra. Okay, let's keep moving. When we speak about modal verbs, it's super easy. So she might write the article. Guess what? We just put to be here in bare infinitive form and again change right into the third form. So the article might be written. Let's check. Okay, so we use be as it is in the bare infinitive form after modal verb. If it's semi-modal, she has to write the article. The article has to be written. So after has to, we use to be. Modal perfect. She must have written the article, the one that we looked at today. Вона, напевно, написала статтю. The article must have been written. Стаття має бути написана. Okay, then, if it's gerund, it's pretty interesting because we need to put be in ing form. Celebrities enjoy people interviewing them. So, celebrities enjoy being interviewed. Celebrities enjoy doing something, but celebrities enjoy being done something. Full infinitive. I'd like to be considered. So, again, be just stands in between. And if it's bare infinitive, it's super easy. You just put bare infinitive be in between or right before the main verb. So, I hope that is clear. You may check all those charts one more time or many more times, depending on your needs. But just remember, you need to put to be form before the main verb in the form in which that verb was before. Тобто ми ставимо дієслово to be в ту форму в пасиві, в якій в активному стані було основне дієслово. Це головне правило. If you use it, it will always be well. So, now it's your turn to change the sentences. I'll be waiting as you write them. My favorite bedroom, something at the moment. So first of all, what tense is it? If it's at the moment, try to put redecorate in the right form. Okay, to save your time, you may write just the part that is missing. Is being redecorated. Absolutely right. Її зараз оновлюють. Something like that. So it is being redecorated. Okay. For example, my mother is redecorating my room, but my room is being redecorated. Number 2, Olympic Games. Every 4 years. So what tense should we use if it's every 4 years? Again, your ideas, just the part with the gaps. No need to rewrite the whole sentence. Present simple, of course, but I'm still waiting for the sentence. So the Olympic Games. Almost right, Anna, but games, so plural, and hold needs to be put in the third form. So are, and then held. Проводяться, організовуються, are held. Hold, held, held. The third form is held. Just remember. Okay, good. Number 3. This hotel room since last week. Не прибиралася, не була прибрана. And we have since. So what tense is that? Think about it and write the correct option. Yeah, I have the correct answer. Hasn't been cleaned. Nobody has cleaned. Ніхто не поприбирав з минулого тижня. But the room hasn't been cleaned. Так і не була прибрана. So we have some negative result for now. Was not cleaned last week. Не була прибрана на минулому тижні. We have specific time in the past. But з минулого тижня до зараз we have some result up to now. Then hasn't been cleaned. Number 4. Fiona is still very weak. So she yesterday. I think yesterday gives you enough tips about what tense to use. Yeah, so she was operated. Again, for Anna, when we have something which happens з минулого тижня до сьогодні, so сьогодні is the key, we have some relation to now, зв'язок з нинішнім моментом, then we use present perfect. And when we have something in clear past, like yesterday, last week, no connection to present, we use past simple. Okay, number 5. By the time they came back home, the window had already been broken. Yeah, good. So they came back home in the past, but the window was broken even earlier. So we use past perfect to mark this sequence of events and the earlier action. Okay, number 6. My mother's cousin to hospital tomorrow. So your ideas? Tomorrow, be careful with the tense. And we cannot use active voice. Is taken, it's like везе, somebody. But somebody takes him, or use correct tense. We cannot use active voice, Vadim. So, його забирають, не він везе когось. Will be taken. Take, took, taken, the third form of the main verb. Буде забраний. Його буде забрано. Will be taken. Number 7. The old shed, it's like сарайчик, сарай. When the accident happened. So probably we have some long action there. Should I help you? Probably, yeah. So it was being painted. It's past continuous. When something short happens, another action exists in the process. Yes, Diana, that's right, but almost right. Had been painted, був пофарбований, also could be. When we mean that one action finished before the other started. But here, when, typically not before, so коли, під час, so long action. Past continuous. And number 8. Tempt, it's like спокушати. So, Mary завжди спокушається things in the shop windows. Речами у вітринах магазинів. It should be easy. Yeah, she's always tempted. Вона завжди спокушається. Regularly in present simple. Well done. So then, right now, I suggest we do one last thing. You need to choose the correct option and then we will discuss what is wrong. So number 1. These photos at my house. We haven't got a fountain in our garden. So we can see can't, like it's impossible. But what tense is it? Yeah, can't have been taken, не могли бути зроблені. So passive voice plus past modal. All right, very good. Number 2. The winner of the talent contest, переможець талант-шоу, переможця талант-шоу буде розкрито невдовзі. So what do we use? Active or passive? Should be revealed. So Diana, pay attention, not revealing, not ing. In passive voice, it's always third form, ed ending. Yeah, good. Okay, number 3. Be very careful, pay attention that it's a question. Number 3. Why was it recorded without my permission? Чому воно було записано? Yeah, that's right. And number 4, the last one. So number 4. C. By the way, one thing, we never use let in passive voice. So, he let me answer, він дозволив мені відповісти, but I was allowed, мені було дозволено to answer. That's a very tricky thing, but let is never used in passive voice. Okay, so I suppose it's time to finish. At home, you can find even more short tasks, so I will leave all of them there in the slide so you can do them later. And for now, as always, traditionally, I suggest we do this tricky question thing. So let's have a look at the slide, the final slide, and try to answer this. So, do you need to check extra options in reading? Yes or no? Okay, I'm happy that you like them. So, do we need to check extra options in reading? Of course, yes, because sometimes they contain the answer you need, and the first one you've chosen might be, well, a mistake. So after you matched everything, make sure that those extras do not match better. Number 2, is ache usually sharp and sudden? No. Yeah, so we have it like constant feeling of discomfort, headache, backache, and so on. It disturbs you constantly. Number 3, can all diseases be treated and cured? Yeah, exactly. So pain is typically sudden and sharp. And unfortunately, no. So like stilete, it's not always possible, speaking of different diseases. And the final question from me, so is it correct to say that we were let go from this webinar? Number 4, can we say we were let go from this webinar? Yes or no about my number 4? We were let go from this webinar. No, we cannot say it like that because we were allowed to go and the teacher let us go. So I can let only actively, but you are allowed to go. And that is true. You can be free for now. So thank you for this nice evening and your active work. I hope it was useful, and I hope to see even more people participating in the comments. So when you write those comments, I can always correct you and help you there. So don't be shy. Thank you for the webinar. See you and bye-bye.